Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Happy Saturday morning to you. We've got a great show for you today with an emphasis on fishing here in the region you live and play in. At the bottom of the hour, we'll be talking to Frank Eschpeter about the South King County Puget Sound Anglers Salmon Derby. It's going to take place at Point Defiance in Tacoma on August 4th. One-day tournament. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll want to hear more about this. At the end of the hour, we'll talk to Bob Loomis. He is back to tell you about attractors you can use to help you catch sockeye out of Baker Lake, the Columbia River, and with any luck, out of Lake Wenatchee this summer. He's got some pretty good ideas. I think you're going to want to listen to him. Speaking of sockeye, that's what tops off our What's Hot segment. Brought to you by your Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Everett, Silverdale, Puyallup, and Federal Way. And there is a big firearm sale going on right now at all four of these stores. Getting back to sockeye fishing, Mike Carey, the founder of NorthwestFishingReports.com, reports the fishing on Baker Lake was red hot for him and his wife last weekend. They started fishing about 5:30 a.m. and over the next 3.5 hours, hooked 8 fish and boated their limit of 6. Mike was using downriggers and trolling at 1.2 miles an hour. He said the salmon were distributed all over the lake. The hot offering? A small pink hoochie, a larger Mack silver smile blade, a 50-50 1/0 Dodger, and he ran it at 33 feet deep all morning. Out in the saltwater, Marine Area 9 has been fishing well. Creel Checkers found anglers were averaging about 2 Chinook or coho for every 3 anglers trying for them on Monday the 16th. Marine Area 10 was also fishing just as well that day, and both parts of the sound are attracting a lot of attention from fishermen. What's not hot? Summer Chinook runs up the Columbia River. The summer run was downgraded from its preseason forecast, and catch and keep fishing on the upper Columbia River closed on the 16th. This also forced the closure of the Brewster and Wenatchee Salmon Derbies too, which is a crying shame. The one bright spot? A good sockeye run, and an increase to 3 fish each on the upper Columbia above Priest Rapids Dam. I can tell you from Facebook photos, the guides are nailing them up there. As for a Lake Wenatchee sockeye fishery, I talked to Travis Maitland, the area fisheries biologist, about this, and he said we're going to be right on the cusp. It may or may not happen. They need 27,000 fish to return for the season to open, and it's going to be close. We'll keep our fingers crossed on this one. I managed to get out for a day of fishing, too, out at Potholes Reservoir, but I'll tell you what, you want to go early or you want to go late, but don't go in the middle of the day like I did. We launched at 10 a.m., and boaters were coming back, and they reported a good morning of fishing for everything from bass to walleye to trout, but we struggled in the heat of the day. Didn't touch any walleye, did get a dandy 4+ pound bass and a couple of other ones too, but it was kind of slow. I talked to Mike Meisberg with Mardon Resort, and he confirmed mornings and evenings, that's the time to be fishing during these hot summer days on Potholes Reservoir, and the fishing has been very good all spring and summer long for a variety of species. If you need a place to stay while you're there, look no further than Mardon Resort. Heading down to Tillamook, Oregon, the Chinook fishing has been slow, but summer steelhead fishing has been fair to good in area rivers, and fishing for sea run cutthroat is also an option in the lower rivers there too. Finally, from the West Boat Charter Boat Association, pretty much a mixed bag. They are getting lingcod up to 22 pounds, or getting salmon up to 20 pounds, but some boats are doing okay, other boats not so much. As they say, that's why it's called fishing. So there you go. Now you know what's hot and what's not right here in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Backcountry hunters and anglers, the men and women working hard to keep public lands in public hands. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
We're checking in with Frank Eschpeter. He's with the South King County Puget Sound Anglers, and the South King County Salmon Derby is coming up quick, August 4th at the Point Defiance Marina in Tacoma. Frank, tell our listeners a little bit more about this derby.
Our derby is in areas 10, 11, and 13. This is our 17th annual derby. I've been involved with it for about 15 years myself. It's an awesome derby and goes to benefit some great groups.
I see that the start time is daylight. The weigh-in time is 1 p.m. First prize for the big fish, $3,500, nothing to sneeze at there. But you've got all sorts of other prizes for big fish in different categories, too.
Correct. First place is $35, second place is $1,500, third's $1,000, PSA members $500, military active or veteran is $500. For example, if you were to be a PSA member and a military veteran and you got the first place fish, you could get $4,500.
Nice. And I know there's kids' prizes on top of that. And folks, this is also part of the Northwest Salmon Derby Series. That means just for buying a ticket, you are entered in a raffle that could win you a 2018 Kingfisher completely tricked out worth $65,000. Frank, really quick, 30 seconds worth of advice for anyone wanting to participate, hoping to get a big fish for this derby.
In the past, folks have been trolling with downriggers close to the bottom with a hoochie or a spoon. Coho killers have been killer recently. Point Defiance has been seeing fish in the 20s.
And how big of a fish do you think it's going to take to win this year?
Every fish that's weighed in the past has received a prize. My guess this year is a 15 to 20 pounder will take the prize.
All right. Well, again, it's August 4th. It's the South King County Salmon Derby being put on by Puget Sound Anglers. You can buy a ticket online at PugetSoundAnglers.net. You can also get it at a couple of our sponsor stores, Sportsman's Warehouse and Puyallup and Federal Way. And Frank, I understand there's several other places people can get tickets too.
Correct. Sportco and Fife, Outdoor Emporium, a lot of the other local sporting goods stores.
Again, it is the South King County Salmon Derby, August 4th, Point Defiance Marina in Tacoma. Go to PugetSoundAnglers.net. Go to the Derby page to find out more. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks for having me.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
It's sockeye season, and we're talking to Bob Loomis again from Mack's Lure Company. Bob, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, John.
So, Bob, last week we talked about what to tie on the end of your line to catch sockeye, but let's talk about what you need to tie a little bit further up. You need some sort of attractor, and when it comes to fishing Baker Lake, or hopefully, if they open up the season, Lake Wenatchee, or even the Columbia River, what's your go-to?
You know, for the sockeye fisheries, my go-to is always going to be a Double D Dodger. We're slow trolling. The Double D Dodger gives you tremendous movement. There's so many different things that I can do. I can take the gear out away from the boat. You know, there's so many pluses to it. The only thing that I would change on something like that is if I'm getting into a more stained water where I want a little bit more attraction, I'm going to add a two-bladed flashlight up above my Double D Dodger. I'm still going to have the Double D Dodger movement on my gear, but I'm getting that 360-degree flash from the two-bladed flashlight up above to help enhance or draw fish from further away.
Interesting tactic, and I guess the question becomes, can you have too much flash? Would that work in clearer water conditions?
Clearer water conditions, you might spook the fish a little bit. Absolutely. You know, it definitely can deter from catching fish.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. A couple of options to attract those sockeye, whether you're fishing Baker Lake or fishing the Columbia River near Brewster or Wenatchee, or hopefully fishing Lake Wenatchee in a week or two. Get your Double D Dodger or flashlight troll at a sporting goods store near you, or you can find them online at maxlure.com.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Are you an outfitter, sporting goods retailer, boat dealer, or someone else in the outdoors industry? If you are, you know targeted advertising works best, and what would work better than advertising with America Outdoors Radio? Our hour-long show is heard throughout Seattle, Everett, and the East Side every Saturday morning, and your message will be heard there too. Want to find out more? Contact me, John Cruz, through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Looking for that extra something that will get more salmon or trout into your boat? Then check out the Double D Dodger from Mack's Lure. The Double D does double duty and helps you catch more fish. The Double D's flash attracts lunkers, and the Dodger's patented stop-start action works wonders to get those fish biting. The Double D does even more by acting as a side planer to get your bait away from the boat where the fish are more likely to be and more apt to strike. The Double D Dodger. It's the Dodger you've got to have from Mack's Lure.